now listening to the Jca Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor. To the Jca Sports.
What's up, everybody? What's up? The Jca Sports Podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We are live on Instagram too as well. Jose Contreras to my left or right, depending how you're seeing us. Myself, Eric Avila here. We got a little nice little setup here. Obviously, you're gonna see this beauty all season long as I represent the champion for our boy Jonathan Playa, who unfortunately isn't with us, but. Special shout out to Luz, his daughter. Happy birthday, Luz.
Happy birthday, Luz.
A strong 7 years old for one of our favorite Palayos. Obviously, Jonathan's on the bottom of that list on the favorite Palayos. It just depends. But that's definitely for sure. Happy birthday, Luz, on that one. But yes, I am the strong representative of John's fantasy football league as I am the champion. All is missing my plaque with my name on it, and it could be official from here on out.
It'll be mine. It'll be mine next season. Don't worry. We'll get used to seeing it. It'll just be on this side. That's all.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, Jose Contreras, Eric Avila here, the Jca Sports Podcast. We got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the Bears game that happened over the weekend on Saturday as the Bears went 3-0 in preseason. We're going to talk about what are you more confident about the Chicago Bears this coming season? What worries you a little bit as well for the Chicago Bears this season? But basically, that's going to be my talking point. One of us has a rant. Actually, I think I posted up on Facebook. I have a rant about the Chicago Bulls and what made me upset over the weekend and what I saw and what I read. I'm going to get a little bit on that too as well. Hey, look, CM Punk.
CM Punk has a strap. Are we going to see another strap match this time with Drew McIntyre?
Probably.
He did this in AEW with MJF, which was a really good match. But, I mean, come on.
A little bit of wrestling here for you guys. CM Punk. I mean, some of us were all wrestling fans here. Jose was a big one. I'm just like I'll tune in, I'll watch, I understand, I'll keep up with the times. But other than that, we can always talk about some wrestling later. But yeah, we got a nice little setup going on, bro. I like it. We're growing. All right, let's get into the Bears conversation right now. The Chicago Bears over the weekend beat the Cincinnati Bengals 24-3. The Bears first team played the whole entire first quarter. I think first half. Sorry, you're right. First half. I honestly do believe that wasn't their intention. There you go. CP in the comments. Happy birthday, Luce, of course. Like I said, one of our favorite Palayos. Obviously, John is on the bottom of that list. But yeah, the first team played the whole entire first half. I think that wasn't by design. I think that was mainly more on accident, simply because the Bears went 3-and-out their first three drives. And I think that kind of was a little bit worrisome for all of us. It brought some trauma of how all the Bears offense had looked throughout the years, especially with Mitch and Justin. 27-3. Thank you, CP. But yeah, I don't think it was by design. Obviously, Caleb Williams got his little rushing touchdown, but in between there, you've seen a little bit of what I think we're going to see throughout the whole entire season. Rookie moments.
Yeah.
Flashes of what Caleb Williams could be as our quarterback. First question, what did you take out of the game, first of all, Jose?
Caleb Williams, man. Look, started off a little slow. A lot of 3-and-outs for the Bears. And they weren't even supposed to play the full first half. Ryan Poles came out and said that wasn't the plan. But man, he didn't like what he saw, man.
I don't. Nobody did.
Nobody did, right? And he wanted them to get it. He wanted them to get it right, and right they did.
Yeah.
Because you start to see those flashes again of greatness from Caleb Williams. A lot of people comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. I don't know how dangerous that is, Eric.
I don't like it, but it is
what it is. I mean, look, every rookie coming in is going to remind you of somebody.
Of course.
This game has been played so long that there's always going to be reminders, and you're going to compare it to this person, to that person. Yeah. But man, but how good does it make you feel that you have a quarterback that's at least being compared to Patrick Mahomes? A Patrick Mahomes that could have been a Chicago Bear.
It could have been a Chicago Bear for sure. You know what? I think it's hard for me to say this, but I think it's actually kind of refreshing that a single Bears quarterback is being compared to one of the NFL greats at the moment. That's never, at least in our lifetime, has ever happened.
No. I don't know. So
to be compared, I mean, I don't like the comparison type of thing. We spoke about it last week. I think John and I got into a heated argument or conversation about it. What are my expectations for the Chicago Bears and Caleb Williams is? But obviously, we're gonna do it, or they're gonna do it, or it's gonna be out there simply because a lot of people like us that what we're doing in podcasting and also the national shows too as well. They need something to talk about, and right now the hottest thing to talk about is Caleb Williams and how he's the next superstar or whatnot. Right? I think. For comparisons, it's great, I guess, for a Bears quarterback to be compared for one of NFL greats right now at the moment. But to me personally, I don't like it. But it is kind of cool to hear a Bears quarterback being named like that.
Dude, it's crazy. I mean, you see the flash, you see the 100%. Throws, that beautiful throw to Rome Odunze, the throw to Rome Odunze that could have been a touchdown if Rome was just in bounds. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, that running touchdown. Look, say what you want. Justin Fields did a lot of that, so I know I get it. We're kind of used to our quarterback running to the end zone, but it just means something when you know he's a pass quarterback first. He's going to throw the ball, which is the name of the game, right? When you're in that position, and then but for him to show that skill set as well, just evading and avoiding all these tackles and these linemen coming at him, man. It's really fun to watch.
It is. And I think the one thing that you said about, we are used to those quarterbacks, right? You mentioned Justin. Obviously, Mitchell Trubisky, too, was also one of the guys, too, that also ran as well. But the one difference that I've seen, I don't know if you saw, but I saw that was a little bit different between Caleb Williams and the other two guys, is how Caleb takes care of the ball. I didn't watch the game. I heard it. I watched the highlights.
Not just taking care of the ball, but how quick his decision-making. I think that right there alone separates is literally what's impressing everybody. His quick decision making, and that comes from him being able to actually read defenses. Yeah, just he's looking at what's in front of him. He's like, all right, cool. This is the play. If I'm gonna audible, I'm audible. If not, I know who to throw it to. Yeah, and you're starting to see that coming to fruition. And oh my God, it's sexy. Sexy stuff. It really is.
It is. This one's gonna be pretty decent. Drew and CM Punk. We're gonna have a trilogy of this.
Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, in a bull rope or whatever this strap match is gonna be. It's gonna be fire.
It's gonna be great.
And if it's either gonna happen to Bash at Berlin or it's gonna happen at Bad Blood. But
it is what it is. Anyways, we're getting off topic. This is part of the show. We actually have the Monday Night Raw on the TV in front of us right now, so we're gonna be back and forth in these conversations.
Absolutely.
No, but you're absolutely right. Like I said, there's a difference. It's a guy that knows how to play the position. I've said it last week. I keep saying, Josh, hey, what's up? Josh says, love Josh? Watching us. He loves us. I got a little sound effects on here too as well, so I am going to use these.
What is that?
Hey. There we go. What's up, Josh?
CP's in the comments.
CP, what's up, CP? I know he also said happy birthday, Luce, too, as well. So we gotta put that. Yeah, he did. Ooh. Happy birthday, Luce.
Josh?
CP.
Yeah.
Oh, you put that on. Okay, cool. I didn't see that if you did. Yeah. CP goes on and says, I think Caleb is his own man. I don't like the comparisons neither. The special stuff is there, just like we've seen with Mahomes, his first year starting year. Their flashy stuff is there, but he's got to learn to take the easy stuff. I trust Shane to teach him that 100%. Definitely. And I obviously you're going to see those rookie mistakes. We saw a good amount of them on Saturday too as well. I mean, I heard it. Like I said, I heard the I heard the game from the Bears network from Jeff and Tom. We're going to see that. We're going to see a lot what we saw on Saturday for the first half. We're going to see that about like 90% of the whole entire year. We're going to see flashes. We're going to see Caleb Williams be the best ever, and then we're gonna see Caleb Williams look like a rookie. And I think that's where the whole conversation of our show and probably all of Chicago sports shows too as well, podcasts and whatnot is going to be is like, how consistent is this guy going to be, right? How consistent is he going to have? One good game, one bad game, one medium game. Obviously, he's special enough.
Oh, he's a rookie, Eric.
I know.
He's gonna have every single one.
He's going to have them.
Mitchell Trubisky, his first year, had
Sucked.
bad games, but he has some really good games. I mean, that Tampa Bay game,
they sucked. Out. They were the worst team in the league. I don't give them credit for that.
But you okay? If let's say the Carolina Panthers are the worst team in the league. The Bears go into that stadium and drop 50 on them.
All right.
That's what you want to see.
Of course, that's what we want to see.
That's what you want to see from a team and a quarterback that should just beat up on the weaker opponents. Right. So I bring that up with Mitch Trubisky because again, that's what we were supposed to see, right? You
I love that shit on Live.
Damn, Live and Dom.
No, you're absolutely right. I agree on that part too as well. But the thing about that though, it's like we're
just side note, because this is distracting me. If you were Dominic Mysterio, would you take Rhea or Liv?
I don't know. My wife.
Man, you cool. I love that. Hold on, put it on the poll. Is there a poll here? Can you put a poll up?
I think so. You go ahead and mess around with it. I think you just put it in one of the banners and create it and whatnot. But we'll see. No, I mean that's the whole point, man. The whole point is we're going to see the ups and downs.
Hold on, what?
What? We're going to see the ups and downs of Caleb Williams, and we want. But the thing, what you said, drop 50 on the worst teams, like you said on the Panthers, right? But what I want is, I don't want another 50 burger thrown. The Bears throwing on them. What I want to see is another performance similar to it against a better team. Smart move, Eric. I want to see that. That's what I want to see. It may not be 50, but score 30. Score 35.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I don't want 1 week being 50 and then the following week barely scrapping 20. You know what I mean? Like scoring 19, scoring 17. Like if it's going to be consistent all around. Now you're not going to have those easy games every week. I understand. Right. That's the NFL. Right. You're going to have games like you said, like against the Panthers and whatnot. My bad. And everybody else. But again, like you're going to have to be consistent with it. And I think that's what we want to see at the end of the day.
Yeah,
is consistency from our quarterback play.
Yeah, CP goes in the comments. He had Everett wide open, but overthrew him trying to throw off one leg, and that's the thing. You're going to see that. You're going to see that from a rookie. You're definitely going to see that from a rookie. The NFL speed is so much faster than the collegiate level, so he's definitely getting used to it. But it's just the flashes, the things you're able to see that he's able to do that we haven't been able to see probably ever in our lifetime. It's what's pretty special. But yeah, I agree with what you were saying for sure.
Yeah, the Jca Sports Podcast here. We're live on Facebook. We're also live on our YouTube page and also on the Instagram too as well. So join us whatever social media platform you want to join us on. Leave us a comment there too as well. We have CP on here, Josh on here too as well. Do you want to bring in guests for this one? Do you want to put the link on the comment section? Let's bring it. We're going to put the link in the comment section too as well. If you guys want to join us in this conversation too. What do you think about the Chicago Bears? How do you guys feel about the game over the weekend? Jose, keeping on the topic of the Chicago Bears too. My question to you is: obviously, we've seen the Bears for 3 games. Okay, we've seen the Bears for 2. We've seen the Bears for a quarter last game and a half for this one.
Oh, I gotta figure out how to do
this. It's all good. And everybody also in the comment section. I also this question goes out for everybody, not just Jose, but for everybody too as well. But what is the one thing that has you confident about the Chicago Bears? Like, what can you confidently say about this team where you could be like, the Chicago Bears are this? I think you got to go into the Facebook page for that one. No, not on Messenger. Just go on Facebook. Yeah. What has you confident about the Chicago Bears this season? Like, what's the one confident thing on which side of the ball, or what player, or what do you have confidence in for the Bears this year? And for me, obviously, the easy answer for me is the defense. I think everything that they've what they have built, what they have brought along with what Montez Sweat, obviously Kyle Gordon coming back, Brisker, I think he's finally practiced today too as well. If there's a unit that's out there that's pretty damn scary and pretty damn good, it's also the secondary. We might have a few a question mark on the defensive line on that aspect, right? But from what we have seen so far from our second team and our third strings too as well, is that these players can get there too as well.
Dude, our defense is
Our defense is going to be stacked.
Our defense is going to be crazy.
And
they're going to get after it, man, for sure.
And yet the conversation was who is going to line up next to Montez Sweat on the opposite side. And that conversation, I think, starting to dwindle. Obviously, they were on trade talks last week with Judon, and I don't know who else was on there too as well. But I do believe, at least for right now, the start of the season, at least this first half of the season, the Bears should try out with Montez Sweat and everybody that they had drafted between Booker, between Pickens, and who am I forgetting? The other guy that they drafted, Dexter.
Right.
Let them go out there, see what the Bears have, see if Ryan Poe's draft picks actually do pan out. And work out.
Booker's looking really
good. I do want to see him
for
with
a
the starters.
Round pick, he's looking pretty good.
And he was there before when the Bears drafted Taylor. And I know everybody wanted, the Bears to take him at that point instead of Taylor. But I mean, they still ended up trading back into the fifth or sixth round, like you said, and still ended up getting him. So he's a baller. So we do want to see him with the first team. We do want to see how he can perform. And again, that to me, the defense side of the ball is probably the more consistent unit I feel more confident in for this upcoming season. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I definitely feel confident in the defense. I think the defense is gonna look. John was saying in the group chat earlier the other day that he thinks the defense is gonna carry this offense. We'll talk about it before we get to CP's comment.
Okay.
I told him straight up, look, it's okay if the defense does carry the team. But as long as the offense does their part, Caleb does his part in developing, scoring touchdowns, whatever we got to do. But I do agree that this defense is going to keep us in games, man. This defense is going to, for sure, show up and show out. And as far as who's going to be on the other side, I like Booker. I think Booker could definitely be someone as long as they develop him the right way, for sure.
Yeah, and with the what you got, obviously Montez Sweat getting all the attention, and he's really wrecking havoc. And obviously the defense right now for this year, and maybe even next year, the defense is going to, excuse me, the defense is going to carry on over, is going to be better because the unit is already, been together for the last 3, 4, 5 years,
right?
And they're obviously going to be the most experienced, better off than the offense. With that being said, obviously, let's go with CP's comment. CP says, I truly believe the Bears have the best secondary in the NFL. Getting Judon would have been nice, but Booker looks the part. Might be in that starting lineup soon with his defense at the bottom 10 QBs. We play Caleb just literally has not to be bad.
Yep. He also goes on and says, I knew Poles is thinking about it, but leave Reddick alone. Like that chemistry we have, don't need any disgruntled players around.
100%. And just use the players you drafted. I think that's the more important key here too as well. Just use the players you have drafted, use them, go along with it, see what you got, and maybe in the midseason, if you are, let's say 6-2, like 5-3, whatever your record is after 8 games, and you already know you're just that one missing piece, or let's even go 4-3. Let's say you're at the cusp, you're like right there, like. The division is there. It's not really there, but you're in the wild card picture, but you're not really in the wild card picture. You're just outside looking in, and you're just one move away. You're just one move away. You can use it in the regular season, trade for whatever player wants to be traded that needs to get out.
Yeah, for sure.
With that being said, obviously, if you're confident about something, you have to be worried about something else. So for you and everybody on the chat and watching us too live on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Instagram, what is the one thing that worries you about the Chicago Bears right now?
The one thing that worries me, and it's not, and look, this worries me not because I've seen things that's not going its way. I just worry because of Caleb, is the offensive line. Okay. How strong is this offensive line going to be? How good is this offensive line going to be?
Okay.
Because in my eyes, it has to be fucking good. Because you are protecting our franchise. The franchise. I don't care how good the defense is. If Caleb Williams isn't firing at all cylinders, if he isn't healthy, we ain't doing shit. Exactly. We aren't doing shit. With Tyson Bagent is not going to get us to the playoffs or a Super Bowl. Rippon's not going to get us to the playoffs for the Super Bowl.
Reed.
Green's not going to get us to the playoff. It has to be Caleb Williams. It has to be. The defense is going to keep us in games. The defense is going to win us some games. But if Caleb Williams is not healthy, we ain't doing shit.
100%.
So that O-line, without question, like my boy CP said right here, without question, that O-line is what worries me. For that reason and that reason alone.
I'm a keep it on the offense, but it's not the offensive line. To me, it's actually the red zone offense. We've already had 5 quarters of Bears football, and with the first team, and for some reason, I already says breaking news: CM Punk will face Drew McIntyre in the strap match at Bash Berlin. Look at that.
Side note, man.
Side note. We're over here.
Karrion Kross, man, looks amazing. That guy needs to push. He needs a push. He looks the type. He needs to be a champion.
Yeah, definitely look. Yeah, he does look like the type. But it's the red zone offense, man. Yeah. We already had 5 quarters, and with the first team, all we got is field goals. There's no touchdown. There's been no touchdowns whatsoever. There's been a lot of inconsistency going in there too as well. A lot of misfortunes. We'll go to this past game as well. That big play to Roma Dunze, and then they're already in the red zone. And the first play after that big play is false start.
Yeah.
And you're settling for field goals, and eventually, yes, look, eventually it's going to be washed up. It's not going to happen all the time. We're going to get a red zone. We're going to get a touchdown. Caleb got a rushing touchdown in one of those two as well. It's going to end up happening, but it's the lack of conviction is where I'm at.
Here's the thing. I'm starting, but look, I can't believe I'm saying this first off. I'm starting to trust the Bears in their decision making and what they're doing. Okay. I feel like they're holding back a little bit. They don't want to show everything They don't want to show everything in preseason, right? But at the same time, I trust their development in Caleb Williams. Why? Because this just feels so different. If you look at the season, if you look at the past seasons, when we drafted Trubisky, when we drafted Justin Fields, they weren't starting their first year. They weren't starting right away. No, they weren't the first.
We
ended up getting Glennon for Trubisky. We ended up getting Andy Dalton for Justin Fields,
which was stupid.
Both were dumb, right? And then when it was time to start, they were still kind of holding back, and then they were kind of easing them in, and there was just stupidity all around, right? And this year, you don't see that. This year, Caleb Williams from the jump, and I get it, he was the number 1 pick, but Trubisky was number 2. Justin Fields was what, 11, right? He was still a first round pick. So like Caleb Williams being the number 1 pick, that right there alone, they're like, hey, look, we're putting this is the guy, we're putting all our chips in his basket.
Yeah.
And you're not seeing this BS. You're not bringing in a quarterback to start ahead of him so that way he can develop and learn and blah blah blah. You're not seeing it. We don't need that.
No.
Right? And even this game that just happened, them just letting him play a full half. We weren't seeing that with Trubisky or Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
They were series out. A series out. I mean, like, you would think like those guys needed their fucking reps.
Yeah.
They needed the reps.
Yeah.
And like you just see it, and it's because they trust him. They trust what they have in their team. So like, why can't and I'm seeing it come to fruition. Like, why can't I trust it? I think I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I think the red zone offense looks a little bit shaky, but I honestly feel like when it's goal time, they're gonna unleash their guys. They're gonna unleash DJ Moore. They're gonna unleash Cole Kmet. They're gonna unleash Keenan Allen, Roma Dunze. You know what I mean? Like
Everett.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think you'll definitely see it.
Before we get into the comments right now, because obviously we have the comments lined up right now. I would agree with you to a certain degree, though. Every quarterback that the Bears have drafted between Mitch, Fields, and now Caleb, I think they all have their own different situation. With Mitchell Trubisky, it was more of like, we're drafting this guy not to start right away. We used a high draft pick on the guy, but we're trying to groom him, understand it. A number 2 pick. I mean, hey, it is what it is. If you got Deshaun Watson, this would have never happened. If you would have gotten, look, Patrick Mahomes didn't even start his first year. So that says a lot. But the team that he drafted to was the reason he didn't start. Right. They looked at it for the long run and ended up paying out. Justin Fields, on the other hand, I think he should have been the quarterback to start right away. And the only reason why he didn't start was because they had already signed Andy Dalton that offseason to give that quote unquote. And remember, when they signed him, they already doubted him as a QB1. So it wasn't like Justin Fields was going to come into play. They were going to do the Patrick Mahomes way of let Andy Dalton play, let Justin learn, and let this go instead of him getting the reps, which he really needed.
Again, but this goes back to my point, right? Because remember, before they even drafted Caleb, they had Justin Fields.
Oh no, yeah, but it was already set in stone that they were going to let him go.
But they made that decision to clear him out the way and give this team to Caleb. But you see what I'm saying? That is. But
also, you have to remember that Nagy and Pace were making moves to save their jobs, to say the least. And what way to save their jobs by drafting a quarterback with potential? Their mistake was getting Andy Dalton that offseason to do this. I don't think it was in their plans to get Justin Fields, but the only reason why they got Justin Fields is I think they felt the
pressure was on.
The pressure of us for the fan base of them signing Andy Dalton. They needed something to do it, and them getting Justin Fields was it. But they didn't. But I think Justin Fields was that guy that they should have started from day one. Whatever they did to Caleb Williams right now is what hot tag, and he's gonna tag. Yeah. I see it. Yes. But
beautiful camera angle.
Yeah, different camera for real, right?
His face.
But. No, Caleb Williams. I mean, I'm sorry, not Caleb. Justin Fields should have started from day one instead of Andy Dalton, and that the situations were completely different. This time around, and you feel like it's completely different. Caleb was the guy. Like you said, Justin Fields was already on the team, but Justin Fields was already going to be out of the team anyways. Caleb Williams wasn't going to be on this team no longer. Or Justin Fields wasn't going to be on this team any longer the moment they drafted Caleb. Let's go to the comments real quick. Let's go. Which one? If the O-line can just be average, which they are, by the way, if they're healthy. When they were all together last year, I'll finish what he said. When they were all there, the Bears were in the top 15 in the offensive line. It just only looked bad because of Justin's playing a QB. Let me putting that out there for right. But if the O-line can be average, we'll be fine. He had a trash line at USC, and overcame it just because Caleb was upright, and the Bears should be able to go 11-6.
He also goes, says Punk will win in Berlin for sure.
For sure. That's the 1-1.
I would be concerned if Getsy was still there, but Waldron has a brilliant mind, no superiority to steer Caleb wrong. And Poles is aggressive. I like it. He sees the issue we have and addresses them unlike the staff before. Judon chose ATL for the strip clubs. I can't argue with that.
He ain't lying. Unfortunately, we didn't have the structure for that plan to work. With Dalton and Fields, we had nothing. At least Mahomes/Smith had a good O-line. Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and a competent team to build them up. Obviously, they were also one of the teams. Did they go to the playoffs the year before? Where Alex Smith and the Chiefs, the year that they drafted Patrick Mahomes? I think they did.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Might have. So a question, right? We talk about our defense and how good our defense is going to be.
Yeah.
Rank them in the NFC. How about this? Let's start off with the NFC North. Do we have a better defense than the Minnesota Vikings?
Yes.
Do we have a better defense than the Green Bay Packers?
Maybe. My biasness says yes.
All right. What about the Detroit Lions?
I think they upgraded just enough to be probably the best defense in the North.
Who?
The Lions.
You think so?
I think so. They needed a lot of help in the secondary, and they drafted good secondary team players, and they also signed a lot of defensive players too as well, allowing to go with Aiden Hutchinson.
I think we have I agree with CP. I think we have the best defense in the
NFC. If it's not the best, for sure the second best. You could argue both the Packers too as well. Their secondary is legit in Green Bay. They might not have the same pass rush as the Chicago Bears at the moment, but definitely like they go hand in hand, the secondary between the Bears and the Packers.
Okay. Last week we talked about who had the best quarterback in the NFC North, right?
I don't remember.
We did. We did. We talked about who had the best quarterback in the NFC North.
Right.
But where do you rank Caleb Williams in the NFC? Period. Is he top 5? Is
No,
Caleb Williams a top 5 quarterback in the NFC?
No.
No.
Not even top 10.
Not even top 10.
In the NFC?
And, okay, all right, hold on. Eric said Caleb Williams is not top 10 in the NFC. So let's go down the list here.
All right, let's run it.
Okay.
I'll at the moment.
Let me bring this up.
At the moment, Dak Prescott.
Hold on.
Not in order. I'm not saying this in order.
Don't go there. Hold on. I'm gonna give you the names.
Okay.
You tell me if Caleb is better, yes or no.
Okay. I already have 6 that are already better than Caleb.
Let's start off with the NFC East. Let's go with the Washington Commanders and Jaden Daniels. He was just named the starter.
Caleb.
All right.
Caleb.
Dak Prescott and Dallas Cowboys.
Dak Prescott.
You're taking Dak over Caleb.
I'm taking Dak.
Okay.
Daniel Jones. I'm taking Caleb.
The Giants. You're taking Caleb over
Taking
Daniel
Caleb.
Jones? All right. So you have 1 over that. What about Jalen Hurts?
I'll take Jalen.
All right. So that's 2 over Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to the West. It's Matthew Stafford.
I'll take Stafford.
Taking Stafford. That's 3 over Caleb. What about Brock Purdy?
I'll take Purdy.
Really?
I'll take Purdy.
Purdy.
I mean, the dude's already been to 2 NFC championship games.
Geno Smith.
I'll take Geno.
What?
I'll take Geno. Geno revives his career with Seattle. He revived his career in Seattle. At the moment, I'll take Geno, but Geno's like that bottom tier where it's like Caleb could have this one good rookie year and will probably surpass him.
This is all projections, by the way. Okay,
this is all projections.
All projections, by the way.
It's all projections. This is not.
We're just drinking the Kool-Aid.
Right? Exactly.
Drinking the Kool-Aid. It's just a little fun, little sports talk, right?
Yeah.
All right, Kyler Murray.
Caleb.
So far, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Caleb.
You got 5 quarterbacks over Caleb.
All
right. Insert quarterback in Minnesota.
Caleb.
Okay. Jordan Love. Okay, that's 6. Jared Goff. That's 7. Derek Carr. No way. No,
he's proven.
Blasphemy. Where's John?
He's proven.
Blasphemy.
Eric. He's proven.
What?
He's proven.
What is he proven?
That he's played in the NFL. We're talking about a guy who was even starting in the first game. You're telling me who to take?
This is projection.
I get it, but I still take Derek Carr right now at the moment.
No.
Yes.
Come on, Eric.
Yes.
I honestly feel like
there's a handful of people. There's a handful of players.
Put it on the poll.
There's
I'm gonna put it on. I'm putting it on right now.
There's a handful of quarterbacks.
Derek Carr or Caleb Williams.
Derek Carr. He's proven in the NFL right now. Derek Carr has at least thrown for over 4,000 yards. Derek Carr, D-E-R.
I was definitely spelled it wrong.
There's no C. There's just a K.
Derek Carr or Caleb.
CP said no, not Derek Carr.
Come on, I feel like Eric's definitely Eric already said he's not top 10, so now he's just throwing guys some.
It just goes with what I've seen so far in the NFL. Caleb Williams has not taken a snap in the NFL yet.
Eric, you cannot.
How am I? I get it. We're doing based off projections.
You cannot put
at
Derek
the moment.
Carr over Caleb
At
Williams.
the moment, it's Derek Carr over Caleb Williams. At the moment, again, it all could change after.
We're not going based off the fact that Caleb's never played.
Okay, if it's
pretend Caleb has a. Okay,
all right.
Hold on. You are Ryan Poles.
I'm Ryan Poles.
You are picking Derek Carr to lead your team or Caleb Williams as of today.
Caleb Williams.
So then why is he not ranked higher on your list?
Because
then why is he not ranked over Derek Carr?
Because Derek Carr has played in the NFL and Caleb Williams hasn't. Come on, man. At least I can say I'm 10 toes down with this conversation with Caleb Williams. You are up here with Caleb Williams. John hates him.
Bro.
John hates Caleb Williams for some odd reason because he is zesty. Let's be 100%.
That puts 8 quarterbacks.
Yep.
8 quarterbacks.
Give me Kirk Cousins.
Oh, okay. See.
Give me Kirk Cousins. I made him so upset that CP ended up joining the chat. What's up, CP? What's going on? Hey. What up, CP?
Yeah, man. What's up, y'all, man? Don't stay in the comments until this man said Derek Carr.
Don't start.
CP,
don't start. CP.
Please,
CP,
talk some sense into him, man.
Don't start, bro.
Talk some sense into him, man.
Look, I get this based off projections, bro, but in our reality, we got to admit, Caleb Williams hasn't even taken a single snap in the NFL regular season.
Then he should be last on your list then if you're going by proven quarterbacks.
It's not last. But we're talking in the NFC. He's already above 4 players in the NFC so far. At least in my eyes.
So who would you put him above?
Obviously, Daniels. Or what's his name? Yeah, right. The quarterback from Washington.
We got two more teams.
Dayton Daniels. That's who you just said.
Ian Daniels.
You'll take Kirk Cousins over?
Yeah, I'll take Kirk.
And then what's the quarterback?
Baker Mayfield.
Bryce Young.
Oh, definitely Caleb.
Baker Mayfield.
Baker. Oof.
Wait, you taking him over Baker?
Hold on, there's CP. Don't say anything. I want to hear what he says. Hold on.
I don't know, man. Baker's such a wild card, bro.
He made the playoffs.
Baker's such a wild card, bro. Like that's the one thing about Baker Mayfield.
CP,
like he's such a wild card.
This man literally just said the only reason why he's picking Derek Carr is because he has NFL experience. So does Baker Mayfield.
Right. I'm taking Baker.
He's a wild card. That's the bull.
That's a wild card.
That's the bullshit in you, Eric.
I'm taking Baker over Carr any day.
You're taking Caleb over Derek Carr like you're taking Caleb over Baker Mayfield. So he is top 10.
I guess he's top 10, yeah. I mean, there's only 14 teams in the NFC?
It's 15 teams in the NFC, Eric.
So yeah. So he barely makes it.
Bro.
He barely makes it.
I would take him maybe top 5, bro.
Nah, bro. You can't take him top 5. You can't take Caleb Williams top 5. Not over Dak, not over Jalen Hurts.
Over Dak. I'm 100% taking him over.
Whoa. Wait, Jose. Wait, Jose. No. No.
Projection.
I can't let you get away with that one, Jose.
Dak Prescott.
No. Say what you want about his playoff failures, bro. He's been a top 5 NFC quarterback the past 5 years.
I'll take him over Dak.
Why?
Would you guys take Caleb Williams over Dak Prescott?
I mean, maybe in a few years, yeah, sure, but not his rookie year when he haven't played yet.
You got. I mean, look.
I know we hate the Cowboys, man, but we gotta stop disrespecting Dak, man.
Projections based on, I think Caleb Williams is going to be a better quarterback than Dak Prescott is.
And yet, I'm the one that's blasphemous.
You said Derek Carr,
but yeah, you said Caleb over Dak.
Yeah.
Hell
yeah, 100%.
That's look. This man says such stupidity right now. I got a beer because of this.
Put it on a poll. Is there a poll? What Instagram ain't working right now?
It's great. And he says me, and he said I had a bad take of me taking Derek Carr over Dak over Caleb Williams. This guy said he'll take Caleb over Dak. Like Dak hasn't thrown for like 4,000.
Yeah, that take might have been worse than his, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly.
What? Y'all tripping, bro.
You say projections. Okay, great. But Derek Carr at least has some type of success in the NFL. And I said some. I'm not talking about he's over the moon MVP. He has some type of success in the NFL.
I think Carr made the playoffs once.
Once or twice, yeah.
Look, I get. Look, I don't want to disrespect Derek Carr. I get it.
You already did.
I'm not Derek Carr. I mean Dak Prescott.
Already did.
Derek Carr, I definitely want to disrespect. I don't give a fuck about him. But Dak Prescott, I don't want to disrespect Dak Prescott. I get it. But I'm going based off project. I'm talking about if I had a team today, right? And I had to choose between Dak and Caleb Williams to lead my team, I'm going to go with Caleb.
I'm going to go with Dak. Dak has at least proven he's worth something in the NFL with the right structure around him. And I get it. He plays in the regular season. I get it. He plays with the Dallas Cowboys. I get it. The pressure on that. Yeah.
In the regular season.
And in the regular season, he could give me a number 1 seed.
Jose, are you saying if Dak and Caleb were both rookies?
No, I'm talking about today.
Or like you're saying Dak at this point in his career now versus rookie Caleb?
Yeah.
Dak at this point in his career with rookie Caleb.
No, bro, you can't do that.
You can't do that. And I get you saying and I understand he says based off projection, CP. And I hear this man loud and clear. But apparently I'm the one that was like, oh well, Derek Carr. But yet this man says he'll take Dak Prescott. I mean Caleb Williams over Dak Prescott. Thanks. But I'm the one that's weird because I want to take Derek Carr over Caleb. But I'm the one with the bad take.
Man, it's glazing.
I mean, they're both terrible takes, but like
this is worse than mine.
I'm gonna put it on the poll for Instagram after the show. Whose take was worse?
Bro, you made me drink.
Caleb
I don't like
Dak?
drinking on the show, but you're making me drink with that stupid
Caleb over
ass
Dak
take.
or Carr over Caleb.
Oh my god, I can't believe this man said that.
Right, we're gonna see. By next week, we'll have the results.
We are gonna be one of the worst podcasts out there for these dumb takes. That we just
or one of the best, right? Because
You know,
Love or hate us, you know.
yeah, for real. You know, all that glazing that we're doing. But dude, that shit pissed me off. You're worse than John. But again, John would do it because of his hatred for.
John will take Bryce Young over Caleb Williams.
Yeah, John. Yeah, don't even ask John, bro.
Don't even ask John.
Caleb Williams is the worst quarterback in the NFL.
But
Yeah, he taking Nick Mullins over Caleb Williams.
John hates the Cowboys so much he might agree with me.
Oh yeah, without question.
Without question.
Now that's a question for John for real. Like, who would you prefer, Caleb Williams or Dak Prescott?
He gonna throw up.
He gonna throw up.
No. You gotta add Jordan Love to it too.
Oh, and Jordan won.
Yeah,
I think he'll confidently pick Jordan Love. To be honest with you, I think so. I know because he plays with
Jordan
the
Love
Packers.
did not. He said Jordan Love didn't
deserve the contract.
deserve the
I agree with that too.
No, that's cap.
I
That
agree.
he didn't deserve it.
Yeah, they both said he doesn't. He didn't deserve it. He deserved it.
It was a bit too soon. I need to see a full year.
Yeah,
You know, I mean, it needed to be done, right?
yeah, but not that amount. Not for that amount of money.
Not for that amount.
Not for that amount of money.
I hate to compare it to this, but it was almost like the Zach LaVine thing a little bit.
Stop.
Thank
Don't.
Thank
No.
But at least
It's
with
too
Jordan
soon,
Love,
man. We need to see more.
What you're about to say is what I told you.
We got excited. They got excited off 1 year, bro.
I'll take my take.
Wait, I agree though. Off of 1 year, he did take him to the playoffs. He did had more success with them. Well, wait, hold on. Let me say this.
Eric was not saying that.
Hold on.
Eric was not saying it until I said that.
Hold on. He had a shaky start. Jordan Love to the beginning of his first year starting. He just ended up strong, and I think what helped his case was winning that playoff game against the said Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys, though.
Against the Cowboys. I get it. I understand that.
When I said the same thing Eric just said, right? When I said, hey, he deserved it because he did more to the Packers than what Zach LaVine did to the Bulls.
Facts.
Eric's excuse was, oh, well, any quarterback will thrive under Matt LaFleur's offense. That's what you said. And John agreed with you. So don't take my take and try to make it yours when you said something totally different.
But I do agree though, like that it was a little too soon for a contract extension, like with that amount of money.
No.
Right? Can you get a full year out of him first? That's all I'm saying.
Well, technically, they kind of did get a full year.
Right, but it was like the first 8 games, man. He looked real average, bro.
So in other words, you're talking about like give me another, like replicate the season is what you're saying,
right? Like replicate that finish to the season.
Was basically his rookie season, and just like Caleb, you need time to adjust to the NFL. So, Eric,
yeah, I agree.
That was his first time starting. Yeah.
Wait, how many years Jordan Love been in the league? Come on, man.
3 or 4 years.
I get it. It wasn't his actual rookie season, but him actually playing, he was considered almost a rookie. As the starting quarterback, he was almost considered a rookie.
Yeah.
Right, because it's totally different playing with the ones than it is the 2s and 3s everywhere else. Okay, so I look just like Caleb. You want to give him 8 games to get his footing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what he did, and then once he got the hang of it, he showed up and showed out.
I agree. But again, I understand. Look, you pay the man. We're not discussing the conversation of extending the guy. The conversation was the amount of money and what. I think I'm not sure if it was CP or you that said it. It's the market. It's the market that inflated him that number. It shouldn't have been that number for a guy who just had 1 year and had a little small success in the playoffs.
But I feel like you're a lot more confident giving that money to Jordan Love than you were to Zach LaVine. 100%.
100%.
Because after you Zach LaVine, there were so many questions like, okay, what the fuck is this guy gonna do? Like, did he deserve it? Blah blah blah. You're looking at Jordan Love, like, okay, he at least showed up. He at least took the team to the playoffs, and they're projected to do really good this year.
But by that logic, does that mean Daniel Jones deserved that contract?
Because he did the same thing. Because he
did the same thing. He took the Giants to the second round of the playoffs, just like Jordan Love did.
And he beat the Minnesota Vikings as the number 1 seed.
Did he though? I don't think he had. I don't think he had a great season like Jordan Love did.
Well, the thing was, Daniel Jones.
Let me look.
Daniel Jones did it with his legs. I think that's what helped him out. And then he also had the support of the best running back in the league in Saquon Barkley at that time, behind a semi decent top 10 offensive line, and the defense was okay. But I think when we did this show, we all agreed that we had no faith in the Minnesota Vikings because out of everybody that they had facing that. out of all the teams that the Minnesota Vikings shouldn't have not faced was the New York Giants, because the run defense for the Vikings were ass that year, and they got ran over by the New York Giants that game. And if I'm not mistaken, the Vikings had the better record, but had to play the Giants on the road because the Packers had won that division.
So whoa!
That year when they made the playoffs was 2022.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. I mean, Jordan Love threw for 4,200 yards. I can't compare that to Daniel Jones.
Right. Okay. So good. So Jordan Love 4,200 yards last season. 2022, when Daniel Jones and the Giants made the playoffs, he only threw 3,200 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions for a completion rate of 92.5. That doesn't really scream.
No, but that was all. Like I said, it was all running game. It was all Saquon Barkley in defense.
15 and 5 is
and Daniel Jones tripping on himself, trying to score a touchdown all by his lonesome. That's all it was. But again, we had more faith, and for some forsaken reason, we had more faith in the New York Giants beating the Minnesota Vikings than the Vikings, who were the better team. I think who had like all this team projected with them to make the play. We had a better feeling about the Giants being the Vikings than the Vikings being the Giants.
So just going back to that comparison, right? Daniel Jones, 3,200 yards, 15 and 5.
Oh yeah, and that contract was just
Jordan Love for almost 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions.
Yeah,
that's a big difference.
That's a huge difference.
Huge difference with a better completion rate of 96.1.
Right. So, but yet again,
that is why he deserved that contract.
And we also
in his first year starting.
We also said to Daniel Jones, like, Daniel Jones did not deserve that contract extension whatsoever.
If Caleb Williams came out with 4,200 yards, 32 touchdowns, 11 interceptions,
he's God in
exactly in Chicago, he's
you gonna give Caleb that if he put that this year? You gonna give Caleb that contract?
If Caleb has those numbers this year, I guarantee you, John's painting his nails.
He's better than Jay Cutler, Jim McMahon, Sid Luckman, all of them put together.
He's gonna blame me. Oh, it's for my daughters. My daughters did it to me. You know? We're gonna rock it.
He'll finally get that Caleb Williams jersey.
Yep.
But he's God here in Chicago with those numbers. No, but look, I get what you're saying. Everything makes sense. His stats says his stats and his playoff appearance speak for themselves on why he got the contract extension. I think it's mainly more the money that came with it than it was the extension itself, because it was either Jordan Love or you take your pickings in either A, the quarterbacks that came out of this draft, or B, the quarterbacks that were going to be in free agents. That was pretty much it. You already had a guy that knew the offense, that's been there for years, and was pretty, let's be honest, he was pretty successful his first year starting. But do it again instead of getting him the money. That was the only issue.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying, bro. Like every one of those other quarterbacks that's gotten paid, they got a lot of games under their belt, to be honest.
Yeah. All right, Eric. We got 10 minutes. You ready for this rant or what?
I loved it because it popped up and during this conversation.
Let me know when to put it on.
You can put it up whenever. This one, and this one will probably go in all our social media reels and everything like that, right?
Oh wow!
This fan page right here.
So sick of this page.
It's doing its job.
It really is.
It's doing its job. Right?
That's what we need to do.
Engagement, sir. Engagement.
I'll tell you what. We're gonna start doing stuff like this. The Caleb over Dak Prescott is going to be a thing.
Yeah, do it. And here's the thing. This is what I don't understand. What pissed me off about this is the fact that it's the self-hatred of another Chicago athlete. What pissed me off is it's another self-hate of not giving the person the props for coming into this league. I think she is the fastest one to get 20 double-doubles in WNBA history. Is she a finished product? Hell no. Her offensive game needs a lot of work. And I'm not saying I'm a big Chicago Sky fan. I'm not saying that. It's a rookie season.
Yeah.
But let me tell you this. In her rookie season, she has had a bigger impact than the highest paid player on the Chicago Bulls at this moment.
Oh, my God.
That this person has came in, she has had a bigger impact. She has had more All-Star game appearance, or has the same amount of All-Star game appearance than the highest paid player on the Chicago Bulls. Hell, there's some nights
that's debatable.
There's some nights that your highest paid player in the Chicago Bulls has those same stat lines and maybe even worse.
Was this another way just for you to rip on Zach LaVine?
So,
Hell yeah, it is.
Honestly, CP, I think so.
I
wasn't seeing this. I knew nothing about what was going to
happen. But the thing about this though is this. Let's be honest. Angel Reese shouldn't be rated 90 in 2K. She shouldn't even be an all-star. Hell, the highest paid player on your team shouldn't even be rated a 70 and not even close to an all-star. But the fact of the matter is they're so quick to, I guess, talk smack about somebody else in their own city for the women's division, then actually talk smack about their own players who don't know how to.
You're holding back, man.
It just
let them know.
It's just fucking disgusting and disturbing that the fact that they'll go out of the way and won't talk shit about their own team, which they deserve, right? There should be no happy moments here for the Chicago Bulls whatsoever. None.
Let them know.
None. But the fact of the matter is, you want to post this post that she shouldn't be this and she shouldn't be that when your highest paid player is shit. Flat out shit. What has he done since he got to the Chicago Bulls that improved the Chicago Bulls? Exactly. Nothing.
They accomplished their goal, though, Eric. The point was,
which is what, CP? What they accomplished?
To get you to react the way you did, and to get those thousands of people that jump into the comments. It worked, bro. That's what that page is for.
It is beyond hilarious to me that they would rather talk smack about somebody else than their own players. This guy, when the Bulls were hot, was the fourth best player on the team that he was supposed to be the guy for. But yet they give him the biggest contract in Chicago Bulls history. For what? Because of the longevity? Come on now, man. It just made me upset that I'm saying this now. I'm not the biggest Chicago Sky fan. I didn't even follow when they won the championship when Chicago's very own Candace Parker was here. I didn't. It's interesting now because the women's game of the WNBA has kind of has been kind of evolutionized a little bit with these players coming in with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and Carmela Cardoso. Luckily enough, we had two of the three here on the Chicago Sky. It's been a little bit interesting. I have watched a little bit more Chicago Sky games than I ever had before in the past, even when they won the WNBA championship. But what pisses me off is the fact that that page or anybody, whether if it's a fan page or not, shouldn't even come close to talking shit about another basketball team, men or women, when their team is shittier than all the other teams combined in both leagues.
I mean, when Jerry's your owner, what else is there to talk about, bro?
I mean, hell, look at the White Sox, right?
I think the White Sox were ranked 87th in just in just franchises alone, as far as money, how much they make and profitability. Bro, 87th.
That's
but believe it or not, they were still one above the Blackhawks. And what they're worth is.
But the Blackhawks kind of did it to themselves, though. Let's be completely
honest. And what
honest.
they're worth
is.
Yeah,
they kind of did it themselves, blacking out the games and whatnot for the fans and whatnot. The only way you can see the Chicago Blackhawks if you actually go to the games. That was the only thing that kind of messed them up. The Chicago
it's not on that network no more where the Bulls and everybody else.
I'm talking about this is like back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, okay.
No. Right before they even made that merger with CBS.
But after the championship, you would think they would.
Oh, you would think, right? But look how long it took from you got to look at the bigger picture from when they were blacked out from TV to when they started coming back in TV, and how long once they got back to TV to get to said championship points. There's already been like a 30-40 year gap between those amount of years. So for that to happen, it's kind of understandable why the White Sox have been on TV for since the 70s.
I guess.
And then within that time, what? One World Series, a fluke World Series at that?
The White Sox won a fluke World Series. That wasn't a fluke.
It was
Don't star, Eric.
It was a fluke. Come on, guys.
Eric,
don't start.
No, look, they've all said it. I've said it. It was lightning in a bottle. What have they done since? How many times have they been to the playoffs?
That's
How
fine.
many
Oh,
times have
Lord.
they consecutively been to the playoffs?
We-
How many times have they had
but
winning
then you can say the
seasons?
same thing
How
about the
many times have
Cubs.
they won a playoff
But then you can
series?
say the same thing about the
I could say the same
Cubs.
thing about the Cubs, but at least there's a small.
Thank you, Jose. Thank
There's
you.
a small glimmer. There's a
No,
small glimmer.
Stop.
Is it? Is
Cubs
it
made
really?
back-to-back playoffs and
Stop.
back-to-back World
Eric,
Series?
Eric,
They've actually won playoff
there
series.
is no fluke winning a World Series,
Yes,
a Super
there is.
Bowl, nothing. There is no fluke. Your team has to be the best team in the entire fucking season. And
Do you need to go back and look at that playoff run?
2005.
Yes, 16-1.
Just
Best
like
bull-
Yeah, they were very dominant, bro. How can you call that? How can you call 16-1 a fluke?
I get it.
How is that a fluke?
What have they done after?
Just no, shut up. Just
No,
like
there's no shut up. Then what have they done after?
Eric, that doesn't matter.
It does matter. Jose,
Right? No. That means no. That
I'm
means
gonna put you on game right now. Go ahead.
That means the Bears' Super Bowl win was a fluke.
Pretty much.
As dominant as their fucking defense
Yeah.
was, it was a fluke. The Cubs, that team was the best team the entire season from start to finish. But yet it was a fluke. CP just said it. 16-1.
Understandable. Congratulations.
And that's a fluke?
So
Yeah.
why is that a fluke?
Why?
Do you not know the history? Do you guys even know the history of the Chicago White Sox?
Is that?
Do you
It
guys
don't matter about the history. Doesn't matter.
everything?
What does the history matter?
Winning a World
Look,
Series.
because at least I'm gonna tell you this. At least the Bears, the year prior and the year after they won the Super Bowl, they went to the playoffs.
No.
Wait, listen before you say no. Listen to what I'm saying. At least they went to the playoffs the year prior and the year after. For the Chicago Cubs, when they won their World Series, what did they do the year before? NLCS. What did they do the year after? NLCS. So they have proven that it was a small series of dominant or a small run to the playoffs. But since the White Sox won in 2005, they weren't in the playoffs the year after or the year before. They haven't even won a playoff series since the last time they won the World Series in 1917. They haven't even been to the playoffs in their history. You know how many times they've been to the playoffs in the whole entire history? 5 times. You know how many times they've won a playoff series? You know when was the last time they won a playoff series? Since they won the World Series.
I can see if every playoff game was like a one-run game or something, or you win off errors or a bad strike call, whatever the case may be. You can't look at a playoff run where they literally shitted on every team they played, no matter who it was, how great they were. You can't just randomly call that a fluke because you don't like the White Sox, bro. Come on.
It's not that I don't like the White Sox, CP. I can easily remove the hatred that
You
I have
hate the White Sox, bro.
and actually talk facts about the fact that they haven't done absolutely nothing since the World Series and before the World Series. The fact that they haven't won a playoff series since 2005 and the last time that they won a playoff series was when the last time they won the World Series says something about the organization that is not good.
Those teams have nothing to do with the 2005 team.
And it's a one and done. It is called a fluke, my guy.
It would be different.
At least the Detroit Pistons, when they won their only one, they at least went back to the NBA Finals.
It would be different if the same players that were on that 2005 World Series championship team were on all the way up until today, and they haven't done shit since. That's when you call it a fluke. But you're rotating players out. That season alone, you could only judge it off that season. Same thing with the Chicago Cubs in 2016. Once they had that complete team with all the Chapman and everybody, that's when they were an actual World Series team. Once that team is gone, once at least one of those players is gone, key players, and a lot of them went. Once they are gone, that's it. It's a whole new team. It's no longer considered a fluke or anything because it's a whole new team. There's so many different variables that construct a team, and you're telling me that a 16-1 in the playoffs, a team with so many great players, Hall of Fame players.
What player has the White Sox out of Frank Thomas has been in the Hall of Fame?
Bro, Kernickel's going to be in it. He's going to be in it.
He's not.
Kernickel's going to be in it.
He's not going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Wait, what?
Kernickel should be in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
Oh, he definitely should be there.
Definitely be in the Hall of Fame.
Not even that.
Come on.
I would
Frank
probably
Thomas
put
is on the team.
Frank Thomas is on the team. That's probably the only Hall of Famer. I think if you ask any true Chicago White Sox fan, like actually believe
he's a true Chicago White Sox fan.
I think you could say if there's only one player in that team that could probably make the Hall of Fame, it's probably Mark Burley.
Mark Burley's also deserving, yes.
100%. And that's probably it.
He's definitely deserving.
And that's probably it.
But you
It's
cannot,
just Mark Burley.
It wasn't a fluke.
Frank Thomas is the only one.
It wasn't a fluke when
It was a fluke.
They were the
because
best
they haven't
team.
done anything since.
They were the best team that year.
They have not done nothing.
Bro,
since.
they swept the Red Sox.
They have not done nothing afterwards, and will continue to do nothing because this team is actually going nowhere for the next 7 to 8 years.
Then look.
Okay, and what the Cubs are going anywhere?
Ah, man, the fucking Cubs are very fucking disappointing, man. That shit pisses me
They
off.
invest right, bro. You know what makes it just as disappointing? They invest all this money. I'm not saying like I like the fact that the Cubs are always aggressive like that, but it's got them nowhere neither.
Here's the thing though about that CP. The one thing that I did not like about the Chicago Cubs was the fact that they basically ran the same team back that missed out on the playoffs last year and really didn't do anything aggressive to improve the team. The Cubs had struggled with bullpen. They didn't get any bullpen help. Now, as of late, they've been one of the top 5, top 10 bullpens in all of baseball recently. But that doesn't mean what they haven't started the season or what they did in the beginning of the season or afterwards means nothing. They struggle offensively. The team, the worst bullpen or the worst pitching in all the American League and the Toronto Blue Jays, they barely scored a run yesterday. Just one. They didn't even do that. This has been the same problem for Chicago Cubs in the last couple. And I understand. Look, I get it. They needed to blow up that championship team. It wasn't working for a multitude of reasons. But the fact of the matter is, like now with this new page, this new era, this new whatever you want to call it for the Chicago Cubs, and they did absolutely nothing, is why they're in this place in this spot in the first place. And I could be as honest as I can be. I can always be honest about every of my teams that I cheer for. And as brutally honest for any other team that I know and then I see and I understand for any other team that I could be true for. And I can tell you that deep down inside. But the Chicago Cubs did absolutely nothing to improve the team from last year, this year, because it's the same team, minus Shota. Shota is the only player that they brought in. And he's actually been their best player so far this season. So again, they can invest all the money that they want, but they haven't invested wisely. And that's why this year has been such a disappointment for the Chicago Cubs. And that's why they've looked the way that they look this whole entire season.
Right. Shouldn't that frustrate you just as much?
I mean, I don't know if you told them how frustrated I sounded, but I'm very frustrated because there was so much high expectation for the Chicago Cubs. For the casuals, for the diehards like myself, I saw no improvement. I saw nothing. And the fact that the expectations were so high for the Chicago Cubs, I looked at the Cubs, I'm like, I won't be surprised if this team is 500 at the end of the year. And I literally, I said that before the season. I know we didn't do the podcast, but I literally saw that I don't think this team was capable of being 500. And so far, I've been proven right.
The 2005 White Sox
is a fluke. It's one of the biggest flukes in sports history, to be honest with you. Such a great story. It is a great story. I will give them their flowers of it being a great story, of being 16-1, of sweeping the World Series, and I think sweeping the ALCS. I think that they swept.
No, the Angels got one game off them and they swept everybody else. They swept the Red Sox. They swept the Astros.
I would give credit where credit is due. Don't get me wrong. I don't even think it's 16 because it's only 3. Whatever their record was in that time, in the time of the playoffs, I will give them their flowers what they deserve. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, the big picture, it is probably one of the flukiest championships in sports history.
So then you got to say that for all the one-hit wonders out there, like the 2019.
Sure, yeah. But again, it comes with its category because I'm saying it goes by what had they done before and after. All the one hit wonders, like I mentioned, what I said, the Detroit Pistons were one. I said you could put you can even put the Cubs in this conversation, but it would probably be on the bottom of the list. What else is a one hit wonder? I'm trying to remember all the other teams that are one hit wonders.
The way I see it, with your logic, you got to give the Bears,
whatever team.
Fluke. You got to make the Blackhawks in 2010 a fluke.
No, they actually won 3 and 6.
Not until 3 years later.
The Rangers were trash for years until they won the World Series last year. Was that a fluke?
I mean, it depends. Were they the playoffs the year before?
No, they weren't.
And then what are they doing this year? Are they on the verge of making the playoffs?
They're terrible this year.
Then it could be.
So does that make it a fluke?
Probably.
I'll give Eric this. I'll give Eric this. Just to play devil's advocate. I don't believe the White Sox. Let me just say this. I don't believe the White Sox championship was a fluke. I would give them this. The Bears at least did make the playoffs the year prior and the year after.
Thank you.
The Blackhawks in 2010, they at least made the playoffs in 2009 and in 2011. The Cubs
went to the NLCS
Cubs
back-to-back
definitely made the
years.
playoffs both years, the year prior, and I would give them that at least, hey, look, in the stretch of those years where you're, let's say how many years, like let's just say like shit, was it 10 years?
Probably more.
Maybe even more than 10 years than the 1 year you make the playoffs, or the one year you win a World Series.
No, wait. So no, 3 because they went in 08. The year they went in 08. So like let's put it in perspective. The White Sox went to the playoffs in 05 and won. They went back in 08 and 09, which was the first time in their history that they went back to back. And then after that, they haven't been to the playoffs since what, 2021, 2020, whenever their 60-game season was. And then prior to 2005, they haven't been to the playoffs since 1993 when they went on strike.
So,
and then before that, they haven't been to the playoffs since the 70s, bro.
Hold on.
Okay, but
I got it right here. Hold on. 2000.
Or 2000. Okay.
In 2000, when they lost in the AL division.
Okay.
They didn't make the playoffs until
2005
when they won the World Series.
Right.
And then in 2008.
And then 2009.
Okay, well, hold on. This is pretty bad. From 1995 up until 2019, you only made the playoffs three times. Just crazy.
I know what I'm talking about when I'm saying all this type of stuff.
How many of those teams made the playoffs back then?
That's probably the same.
Y'all know how hard it is to make the playoffs in baseball. Y'all know how hard it is.
Minus two teams because it was only the division winners and one wild card spot.
Exactly.
But you're talking about gaps between those years.
But you're making it sound like the White Sox were just like absolutely terrible every single year. They had some good years. It's just back then with only 4 teams, it was really hard to make the playoffs in baseball.
Cute story, CP. But what matters is if you make the playoffs or not. That's the main conversation, the main goal of this part. Is the fact that they made it. It doesn't matter how good. It doesn't matter if you come in second and don't make the playoffs. It doesn't matter if you had a great season, above 500 record, and you're still third in your division. Did you make the playoffs or no? That's all that matters.
It don't matter. But you're saying, oh, they were terrible after this year and they were good this year. Like the year after they won the World Series, they were 18 games over 500.
Did they make the playoffs?
It don't matter, bro. They were still a good team.
The whole synopsis of my argument and my conversation right now is the fact that what did you do before and after, and the fact of the matter is
it's easy for you to say that when things change.
You didn't make the playoffs the year after you won, and then you didn't make the playoffs the year before, whether if you were below 500 or not.
They barely missed. They barely missed 2006.
Okay, because by the same rules,
they barely missed. But my point is, did they make it? That's my point. If
the Cubs had those same rules that they had in 2005, would they have got that wild card in 2015? No, because it was an extra team at it.
Was it? Did they even play the extra team that? Yeah, right. It was around that.
Yeah,
time.
2015 wild card against the Pirates.
Yeah, but it would have been that year that the Cubs came a year too early if it was still the same rules, because the Cubs were they won 100 games that year. And they still weren't the best team in their division because the Pirates and the Cardinals were in the same division too as well. So again, you're right. If the same rules applied back then, we would have been excited because like, oh shit, the Cubs are actually coming. The Cubs are doing this. The Cubs are doing that. I get it. It's not their fault that the rules have changed between 05 and 15. But the point of the matter is that they made the playoffs. They made that wild card round, and they still ended up making to the NLCS that same year that they had that little extra extension. They went to the World Series the year after, and the NLCS after the World Series. Did they win it? No. But is it a fluke? No, because at least they proved that they went to the playoffs the year prior and the year after.
A fluke. I feel like a fluke is just a terrible team.
The 1 year that the White Sox won it, they didn't do diddly squat the year before and diddly squat the year after because they didn't make the playoffs.
A fluke to me is a terrible team catching lightning in a bottle, winning 1 year, and then after that they're just terrible again.
The only reason why they also made that playoffs is they had a very hot September, late August, and the whole month of September. If you're actually looking back at it, that's the only reason why they made the playoffs, because they were one of the hottest teams in baseball and carried on over. After that, flame went out. Lightning never struck twice again in the same bottle.
How? They had a good year the next year.
Eric's the gift that keeps on giving.
Great. Where's the playoffs to show it, CP? Where's the title defense on that?
It's easy to say that when the Cubs got hot around the time they added new rules.
When they went to the NLCS the year after winning their division for back-to-back years, their own division. I'm not trying to stir the pot. I'm just here speaking facts, my guy. And the fact of the matter is that no matter you guys don't want to believe it,
you got your different definition of a fluke from other people's, bro. That's all it is.
I don't agree.
You can't.
Fluke. I don't agree.
I don't see how a 12-1 run is a fluke. I just don't see that.
I don't see it's a fluke.
I'm not saying again. I'm giving them their flowers of winning their 12-1 season.
Fluke, but it's not a fluke.
I mean, it's not flowers if you calling it a fluke. Where's the flowers?
Right there.
Those flowers are really dead.
I mean, just like this organization. Congratulations. Where's the applause button that I have here? Hold on. Where is it? I know I have. Congratulations. They won a World Series. How did they defend it? By not making the playoffs.
Okay, and the Cubs won the World Series in 2016. How have they defended it since then?
By going to game
NLCS. Wow, one NLCS.
They at least made it as far as they can in their own division to defend it up until they lost.
So what was it? 1, 2, 3, what?
Again, how long? Let me how
you had a 4-year run and it was back to mediocrity. Okay, if you wanna,
how difficult you guys wanted to make the playoffs in baseball. When was the last time there was a back-to-back World Series champion? The Yankees in '99 and 2000. So yes, it is hard. I agree. It is hard to make the playoffs in baseball. I get it.
So
everything,
they're
all
flukes. With his logic, they're all flukes.
Not really, because
it's all one and done. It's all flukes, CP.
That's what they are.
All of them, my guy.
Look
at the trajectory. Would you count the San Francisco Giants?
Cubs was a fluke. What was before the Cubs? The Kansas City Royals were a fluke.
No, they actually went back.
The Nationals were a fluke.
That one's a little bit on the fluky side. I'll agree with that one.
What about the Dodgers in 2020, the pandemic year? That's a fluke.
That one's an asterisk because of it being a pandemic year.
It's a fluke.
But then again, wait. At least the Dodgers went to
how many? All these excuses, but because it's the White Sox.
Wait,
my God.
Again, what have the Dodgers have done before that? How many times have they went to the NLCS to at least make it to the World Series?
We're just as bad as Tony Khan. Make it
to the NL. The difficult part is making it to the NLCS to your championship series matchup because you're one of two.
No, the goal is to
yes, that's the main goal, Jose. We all understand that. We all understand that.
It doesn't matter.
But
it doesn't matter.
See,
if you miss the playoffs, or if you make the playoffs, if you don't win a fucking championship, Eric,
again,
that's it.
You guys,
that's it, man.
You guys are missing the whole point.
You moving the goalposts, man.
No, I'm literally keeping it the same. What did you do the year before and the year after after winning the World Series?
That's your basis.
It's difficult to win. Yes, I am not arguing with you guys whatsoever on that point.
All right, end it after this. We gotta go.
All I'm trying to say is what did you do after that? You didn't do diddly squat. You barely even made the playoffs the year after.
Okay, but you can stay there for it.
But again, you guys want to put the Dodgers. The Dodgers went to 7 straight NLCS championship games up until they won one in the COVID season. Are you guys going to say that the dynasty that the Giants? Are you guys going to say that the dynasty of the Giants? Well, see that one's actually a hot topic one. That one's actually a hot topic one because
when you fail year in and year out,
how many World Series you win before and after? I get it. See, that one's a hot topic one. I am agreeing with you. When you said it, I am agreeing with you right there.
They were consistently bad. They were consistently failing.
They went to the world, but at least they had the playoff appearance to prove it and the World Series appearance to prove it. Is it one and done? Sure, because they haven't done anything ever since that COVID year.
Look,
but at least prior to that, they have made attempts. You have made
you can't say that about the no. Shut up. You cannot say that about the Dodgers. You can't say that about the Dodgers and not say the Cubs weren't a fluke. For 108 years, they failed.
I get that. I understand. I lived it.
And then the 1 year, they finally win
it. Yes.
It's a fluke.
Yes, but then they also.
By your logic, it's a fluke.
No, my logic.
Because
you're not understanding my logic.
That was in 2016. That was what 8 years ago. So that's 116 years. They only won one time. It's a fluke. It has to be a fluke. I think that's more of a fluke than the 2005 White Sox.
By your logic, of course.
By your logic, of course. We're based off
you
your
guys,
logic.
You guys missed my logic by a
Based
mile.
off your logic, sir.
By a mile, you guys missed my logic.
Based off your logic.
You missed it by a whole mile.
So your logic is make the playoffs a year before and make the playoffs after.
There's no more than a fluke.
I guess listening is not your guys' strong suit.
You only win one championship.
You guys missed it by a whole mile.
But if you're talking about a fluke, in 116 years, you only win one championship, Eric. That right there, I think that's a fluke based off your logic, by the way.
Right? Throw all those years out the window, I guess.
Because not all those years were playoff runs. Not all those years were good years. There was probably more bad years than they were good years.
Again.
Oh my Lord.
Hey, am I right? Am I right, CP?
You guys missed my whole logic by a whole ass mile.
There is no logic. There is no logic.
There is.
You have an excuse. That's
no,
it.
there's no excuse.
I mean, you gotta explain it, bro.
If you guys heard me correctly, I said year prior and the year after.
No.
That's what I said. Did you make the playoffs the year priar? No.
So then,
did you make the when you win it?
So then in Eric's thing, in 3 years, you have to have all good 3 years in order for it not to be a fluke. Just in 3 years alone. So the other 10, 100, whatever years don't mean shit. Right? Right? It only matters what happens the year before and the year after. You heard it here first.
Because I'm looking at the past 20 years, bro. A lot of these are bad, bro.
Exactly. So
and then you run into a good 4-year run, and that's your logic right there. Oh, we made the playoffs a year before and a year after, so that makes our title legit compared to yours.
I hear you, CP, but I literally said, what did you do the year before, and what did you do the year after? Again, it's
but the thing is but they change, Eric. The players change. Shit changes. So it's not the same team.
I get that.
I want to know why that's the standard. Why is that the standard?
What is the difference between the year before and the year after, and then 2 years before and 2 years
because
after?
At least the playoffs, making the playoffs and defending your title by making the playoffs says something of how good your team was. Again, you guys are talking all this shit about the Dodgers and making the NLCS, making the World Series, but at least they were consistently there trying to win it all. Did they win it once? Yes. Are we calling it an asterisk just like all the other sports team that won that year during COVID? Yes.
But if you're calling it a fluke, you're going based off what's been consistent in those years.
My consistency hasn't changed.
So which means the Dodgers have been failing for 7 years, and then when they finally hit the 1 year, that I believe is more of a fluke than anything.
Again, they at least had some prior success of making in the playoffs and making it into the World Series. Did they win the big game? No.
All right. So
again,
we got 3 things.
It is hard to win back-to-back games or back-to-back championship in baseball. It hasn't been done in almost damn near 30 years. I get it, but my thing, what I'm saying is, what within that little small time frame, whether if you go 5 years back or 5 years forward, what have you done in that little time frame to at least try to defend your honor and winning the championship? Did you make the playoffs the year before? Yeah, great. Cool. You won the year that you won it. And so am I, but you apparently listening is not the biggest strong skills on your guys' mind. No. Because again,
it's not listening when we don't agree. That's what it is. Right?
Again,
when we don't
because
agree,
you guys are twisting my words talking about
bro.
All I am saying
because
is
we don't agree with you, Eric.
Again, all I am saying, but what you're saying is to my logic. You guys are saying in my logic, what I'm telling you is what you've done within that little time frame. At least the Cubs made it to 3 NLCS during the championship period, which is a play.
Flawed. You were telling your logic is
flawed. Okay, it's flawed. It's flawed.
That's what we're telling you.
It's okay. It's flawed. It's flawed.
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't get why that makes a difference, bro. Everybody has 1 year where they make an NLCS run. It happens for everybody.
Baseball, when it's so hard to win the World Series, when a team wins it, that's not a fluke. They worked their ass off. They did everything they could. They were the better
any team. did you keep that success going? I guess is where I'm trying to get here at the end of the day. Did that success still trailed over years after you won it?
I don't look. I'll just say this. I don't think there's no such thing as a fluke in baseball. You might make that case for basketball and football because basketball, you got injuries in the finals where you could say, oh, they lost because these players were injured in the finals. Where you bring it up like the Warriors winning or the Raptors beating the Warriors in 2019. Those players were injured, so they won, and you can make a fluke argument for that. But baseball is such a different sport entirely. You have so many players, so many different ways you can win a title. Winning in baseball, I feel like it's harder than any other sport. So if you found a way to make a playoff run, bro, and get to the World Series and win it, like you can't call that a fluke.
How about let's put it like this: if ESPN acknowledges your championship team when you put up a graphic and the team's that title, then it's not a fluke. How about that one?
Huh?
Oh, you guys didn't know that ESPN put up a graphic of all the previous championship and skipped the 05? Yeah. No? Nobody? I guess I'm the only one that watches sports and understand it. CP, thank you very much for joining the show, my guy. I appreciate you. I love you, my guy.
He's the only one that watches sports. No, you're the only one who hates the White Sox more than anybody, bro.
I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. Come on, man. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it.
Hatred.
I mean, it's obvious, bro.
How John feels about Caleb Williams, how you feel about the White Sox. I don't want to hear it.
Rightfully so, because you know what? That's,
all right, guys,
that's a whole other podcast.
Everybody, thank you for watching. CP, we appreciate you jumping on.
Thank you, CP. I love you, bro.
Appreciate it, bro.
You're the best, bro. Next time I'll give people more sports knowledge on the show next time, guys.
Yeah,
I appreciate Thank you to Jose, CP, Josh, and everybody Caesar on the comments. We appreciate you guys for hopping on. To happy birthday, Luce, once again. Thank you very happy birthday, Luce. Big 7. Happy birthday, Luce. Jca Sports Podcast. We won't do the live show or the live streaming of the game on Thursday for the final preseason game. But we will see you guys next week, same time, same place on Facebook, YouTube, and also on Instagram Live. For Jose Contreras, I am Eric Avila. John Taplayo's out there celebrating with Luce her birthday. Gratefully understandable.